What's going on, everybody? Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm glad that you're here with us together. Looking forward to this Friday session over here. Looking forward to spending some time with you, Robbie. That intro music, that is called Honeymoon. Honeymoon instrumental. Love the music as well. That is our theme song, unofficial sponsor. By the way, just glad you're all here. Looking forward to getting going over here. I saw a comment this morning that was really, really, really important, right? And I'm going to share that with you. We're going to start this session off with that comment. And the comment said, do not get emotional. Man, what a great comment that is. What a great comment that is. Do not get emotional. If you get emotional as trades are going in your favor, that means you're going to go get emotional when trades are going against you. Or likewise, just flip that upside down. People who are very emotional when trades are going against them, they're also very emotional when trades are going for them. Now, that's not to say that today is not a happy day for those positioned into the metals, for those positioned into Bitcoin, those riding the equity markets, and it's a beautiful Friday to enjoy. So it's just very important to have that mindset that you want to be detached, whether the position's going for you or against you. If you don't have the correct position size, it's impossible. There we go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. All right, let's do it. You ready, everyone? Digital Money, glad you're here with us. Thanks for saying that. Appreciate that. Sprout, morning. All right. Here we go. Let's take a look. We haven't, Bears roar loud. Bears roared loud right over here this week. Do you guys all remember when the Bears were roaring? I do. Right over here. And what happened? Afternoon update. Hey, listen, guys. I don't see anything technically broken yet. Everything's still looking bullish. I think that was an overreaction. We don't know for sure. If we lose this support and we lose this trend line, then we'll know that we're seeing a deeper correction. And then sure enough, set it off. But let's look at this. Has this move been overdone? Let's look at that right now. We're going to start here on the S&P 500. Brian, great morning. Right back at you, brother. Great morning. All right. Let's see what's going on over here. Look, I'm going to pull up the true trend for 1 second, and I just want you to notice over here, we are dealing with the entry CCI has been overbought in this uptrend for a little bit of a period of time over here. Okay. Is it time to take profits? Do we take profits this Friday going over into the weekend? Are we going to get a shot at possibly this morning coming up into this resistance? And if you do, you know what? Is it time to take profit? Look, let's just paint the picture what's going on over here. We have talks that things are going well as far as, now Trump is saying, all right, let's do a larger stimulus, which is what the other side of the aisle wants. Now, Trump, I don't know if he has his side of the aisle in, willing to do that. So some of those people believe that, well, they've already done enough stimulus because, look, stocks are flying, right? They're all protected. It doesn't matter that they can't feed their family. And the other side of that, well, anyway, I'm not trying to get political. I'm just trying to paint the picture of what's going on so we know whether or not we're looking to hold this and push this or take our profit, right? It's an important thing to look at today. I'm just gonna continue painting. Is that a bull trap? No, that's definitely not a bull trap, right? That's definitely, was this a bear trap? No, on the Nasdaq, right? Was that a bear trap? We thought it was over here. We then crashed down over here. I don't know. If anything, it was a bear trap, not a bull trap. If there's a bull trap, no. So let's go. At Polkadot, listen, Richard, what's the deal with Polkadot? We'll look at it from just a TA standpoint, but let's keep going over here. Remind me later, Richard, all right? So, yeah, that's what I wanted to get to. Thanks for bringing that up over here. So while we have, talks of this greater, stimulus package and, maybe that's going to get done, but at the same time, you have two people, the president and the House Speaker, calling each other crazy. So, again, I wish it were about the American people. It's not really about the American people. Let's just figure out what we're going to do. We're riding a lot of momentum into this session. I think out of precaution over here. By the way, all right, let me keep going over here. I'm going to find a flow. It's really important over here. This morning earlier, as price was dipping down, the entry CCI was coming back towards zero, not negative. That was healthy, but you could see that we're back up over here. We have been overbought for an extended period of time. Now, overbought can remain, new lesson, overbought can remain overbought for an extended period of time. And when that's happening, you can see massive moves. Likewise, oversold can remain oversold for an extended period of time. However, we are now getting to a point. Look back on this. When was the last time you see the entry CCI over here? It was, for an extended period of time. The pullback wasn't that much price-wise. And then, boom, we shot the moon because overbought can remain overbought for an extended period of time. And that's when you see big price movements. Is it possible this weekend you run into something like where, all of a sudden they put together a package, both sides like the package, and, you're going to see the stocks continue to fly, break past our current level over here, this resistance, and target what we were initially targeting, which is right over, back up the truck. This is where we're targeting. We're coming into our target area this morning. All right, listen, I'm just painting the picture for all of you, and I'm just going to slightly say, I recommend going into this weekend, even though there's a possibility we could fly, I recommend if we get the opportunity this morning to take profits into the resistance, as well as if we trade below this morning session low over here, right over here around 34.52, just get out of the trade and take the profits. It's not a bad trade, right? It's not a bad trade at all. A stop loss, would be 2.5%, targeting, just under 3.5%. So anyway, that's where we are. And that's what I gently suggest or guide, and it's up to you to make those decisions. All right, let's take a look at the Nasdaq now at the same time. You could see this looks a little bit different. Why do I say that? Well, we're into resistance right now, this red line resistance, and we have the possibility of breaking above this resistance, right? If we break above that resistance, the next bit of resistance is a light level at 11,844. Right? It gets a little stronger up here, right around the whole number 12,000. And you're targeting this trend line resistance over here. However, same thing over here. We've been overbought for a little while now. Is it time to go ahead and protect those profits? Look, stop losses right now are only at break even. Does it make sense tightening up that stop loss over here? By the way, the stops won't hit over the weekend. If you gap down over here over the weekend, and I'm not looking for a gap down, I'm looking to protect the other side of my trade always. If you gap down, you're gonna exit the trade wherever the market opens, right? So what do? Do you take profit this Friday as you're sipping your coffee, as you're sipping the tea, and feel good about putting in a good week's work? Or do you look to continue to push this, right? I think what you're looking for over here is to be very protective. Watch the price action this morning. Watch what happens, not only as the market opens, not only that first half hour of trading, but into the London close. And if you see any signs of reversal, time to just get even for the weekend. It would be nice looking for some type of entry CCI pullback on both the S&P, on the Nasdaq, and then looking for a re-entry if you get the resumption next week. All right. So what else do we got going over here? Let's check out the Dow, by the way. The Dow is trading up towards resistance over here. This channel, upper channel resistance over here. If I look to the left over me over here, do I see like any horizontal resistance as well? It's fuzzy in this area. I don't have a clear indication. Focused in over here. You're into resistance. The upside over here, you got overhead resistance coming up in that area also. Again, we've been stepping aside on the Dow, right, all week and been focused on the Dow and the S&P. So we'll just leave it there and say there's not clarity. That's fine. That's a good place to be. Well, Russell just continues crushing it in its parabolic move, right? By the way, let me step back, look on the 3-day over here. There's not much. There's a little bit right over here. I mean, look, things, people always want clarity. Sometimes things are not clear. This is all a supply zone over here. This is all the resistance is over here. That's all a supply zone over here, right? There's a lot to work through. Any move into there, I don't know that any one of us is trading the Russell. I don't know anyone who has any position on the Russell. If you do, you are going parabolic, you are going parabolic. It's not a blow off top, but you're going parabolic. You have this parabolic trend line right over here to protect you. As long as you're above it, this move has a lot of momentum, even on pullbacks. Even on pullbacks at this point, be leaning on the entry CCI. Wait for that to pull back, resume off while holding above this resistance over here. By the way, this is not only relevant to this instrument right here. This is TA across board, whatever you're trading. Learn, learn, learn. That's what I'm always doing over here. We'll be looking at the DXY. We'll be looking at gold, silver, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, all of it in just a bit. But let's focus on where we are right now because there's a lot being shared. Just have that open posture. By the way, if you're here this morning, go ahead and please help me out. Smash the like button. Let Google know that people like what's being shared here. Come on, man. Please, smash that like button. Get me going. All right. If we get a pullback over here, right, next week, is that a place, again, very bullish while we're above this trend line over here. Everything looking good. Is there anything else to say on that? Yeah. If you get any further extension up into that blue zone, right, I think you should take profits. Any extension, I don't know if anyone's in the position or not, but an extension into that blue zone, you got to take profit. If you clear this level over here, if we clear that level, that will then open up future, after some consolidation, future places to get long. Or you're getting long on any pullbacks right now into the support at 1610 or this trend line, as long as that trend line holds. DXY, let's check it out. Let me go ahead and, I don't need it, but I'll pull it back up if we need it. Let's go over there. Happy Friday, Hacky. Happy Friday. All right, let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, here we go on the DXY. We're breaking down below the support. Great sign over there, right? We were looking to get out of no man's land. What was no man's land? Between 94 and 93. 38. Now, we do need to close below to confirm it, but it looks like a solid break we got going on this morning, right? All right, so what's next? We're looking for dollar weakness. What are we targeting? A couple of things. First of all, this is not what I'm targeting, but I want to throw this in here for you, only because I see a pretty clear, little trend line right there. All right, so just keep an eye on that this morning as you come down and test that over here. That could be where we bottom out. I'm just looking automatically, follow my mouse to the left. I'm looking for resistance. I don't really see anything clear. I'm not even going to touch that. Now, what I'm targeting is this. I'm going to extend this now, right? This is what I'm targeting here on a breakdown. Now, of course, we do have this little bit of resistance. Consider it like a local resistance line. It's not a strong level, but it's there. It's something that we could peak down at this morning. No big deal. This is what I'm targeting over here. This level over here, coming in right now around 92.30. 92.30. That's what I believe, if this breakdown holds, that we're targeting. If we break down below this level of support, then it's, yearly lows and possibly lower. All right, everyone should have a clear read on that. Now let's move over to gold, which is, by the way, the same exact thing. They're very tightly correlated. Gold gave us the hint yesterday when we saw gold. We observed, very important, the observations you make. Yesterday, people were observing that while the DXY was up a little bit, gold, right, was up, Bitcoin was up, and then today we have some follow through. But you could see that when I say the same thing, is that we've broken out of this range. Gold is also now broken out of its no man's land range, broken over here across this trend line. However, it's not out of the woods yet. It's not out of the woods yet by any means. What do I mean by that? Well, I don't think this is a thing, but I'm going to show you anyway, because it is a thing, right? You have the top of that over there. That's a little bit of resistance right over there. Does that look similar to this? Yep, that looks very similar to that, right? Just keep that in your mind right now as we're looking at gold. You still have this to get over, right? However, look, this is how we protect ourselves. We're going to see this later in the session. as we look at, what is it? I think it's the Euro New Zealand dollar. We're going to see how we protect ourselves on breakouts, right? Well, let me just go show you right now. We were looking at the Euro New Zealand dollar yesterday, possibly, and I said, I don't know. Is this breaking above this resistance right over here? Price was right here on this bar trading down. Is that breaking above that resistance? Well, I don't know. I said if we make a higher high here, that's a good entry to the long side, saying that we broke above that resistance. And did you see how we never broke down? Do you see how we never made the higher high? Price on the retest failed. The retest failed. We never made a higher high. That's why we don't take breakouts, and that's how we keep ourselves protected. Now, with that in mind, look at gold and keep that in mind right now as we're experiencing a breakout. You don't ever chase the breakout. You're waiting here for a couple of things to happen. You're waiting for a retest, right? A retest will be into this trend line. And also, right, 1904. Let me just go ahead and flip 1904 preemptively, right? 1904, right? A retest into either those levels and a resumption off. You don't worry about that resistance here. That's an entry. 100% that will be occurring possibly on the opening on Monday of next week, right? What else do you look for? Well, you could also fail. What do I mean by fail? I mean that on the retest, we might fall back into here. That would be very bearish. That would be a bull trap, and that could send this thing back down over here and or lower. Is that possible as they invoke the 25th Amendment? Is that possible if all of a sudden Washington comes to they're not even talking to each other, right? Well, anything's possible, right? So just be aware and be protective and don't get emotional either which way. Is it also possible that we continue breaking out over here without stopping? Yeah, but guess what? Eventually, there's going to be consolidation, and on a resumption up, that's when you attack. That's a strong move. All right, let's look also at silver. Right? Silver is at an important level this morning. Yeah, silver's breaking or testing, I should say, the 2450 big resistance level right now. That's a big level for silver. Nevertheless, gold is leading. Silver's lagging. Looks great, but you're still in no man's land. You're still between this area over here. A breakout above 26, as I said yesterday, which is also a breakout of this trend line over here. That will then set up some high probability entries, and that means gold has already really been broken out. That might be the time if you're looking to attack silver, which, when things get going again, will outperform gold again. But now's not the time. Now's the time there to hang back, watch, and show some patience over there. What else is going on? Let's check out people, oil, just really quick so I could say I've looked at it. Right? Oil, well, into is the storm, is that category 3 hurricane hitting land yet? I'm not sure. Is that supposed to hit land today? Has it hit land there? I'm not really sure. I think oil was bid on that. Look, I had the question mark over there because I didn't really think so. At the end of the day, and I'm not going to change my view, this is still sideways. This is still just going nowhere. And remember, it's all the way since June that I said this is going sideways and to stop it. And look, June, July, August, September, we're into October. Continue to avoid that like the plague, in my opinion. If anything, well, yeah, just continue to avoid it, in my opinion. Yeah, I prefer BlockFi. BlockFi's got massive amounts of backing, whether you're talking about the Winklevoss brothers, whether you're talking about Morgan Creek Digital. Anthony Pompolano led the last round. It also has Fidelity as one of the first investors in it. BlockFi all day long because it's got the backing. It's got massive money behind it. What else is going on over there? By the way, Bitcoin, let's check it out over here together right now. So nice breakout yesterday. Remember, was it Wednesday's afternoon update? I took a look at Bitcoin and I was like, oh man, it looks like it's getting ready. Here we are. Boom. Right? And we've broken out from that first important trend line. This is the big one. And now we still have not yet taken out the confirmation one, which is we're coming up. We've already tested it, right? We're testing it this morning. So is it possible? Well, there's not much else to say. Super healthy, super bullish, need to break out of this trend line over here. And then we are off to the races here on Bitcoin. looking fantastic. I've said it over and over and over again. And by the way, there is a link for BlockFi in the description of below. You know, whether you're looking at 11,000 Bitcoin, 9,000 Bitcoin, 10,000 Bitcoin, 12,000 Bitcoin, man, in my book, that's all on sale. Where we're talking about what I'm targeting here in the next 14 months or so. Bitcoin looking very good, but more importantly, you had Ethereum breakout over here as well. Why? Because yesterday Ethereum was lagging. Today it's broken out of that trend line as well. Super healthy. As I said yesterday, I wanted to see all of the cryptocurrency market performing together. Here you have an important breakout on Ethereum. We're into the resistance, by the way. That's resistance, not support right now. Let me, just so everyone's on the same page over here, let me go ahead and turn that to red. That has not been broken yet, right? So, right, what are you looking for here in Ethereum? Is it possible you get a pullback and a resumption? Yeah, awesome. Is it possible that we break out above here? Resumption? Yeah, those are all super healthy. Of course, watch out for the failed break. Doesn't look like that's happening. Doesn't mean it won't. I still think we need to clear the resistance here at $390 before Ethereum really starts pumping again. I do think Ethereum will continue as it did all of 2020. It outperformed Bitcoin. I think that continues. However, I'm a Bitcoin guy. All right, let's go over here and check out Chainlink also. Chainlink also, I'm going to remove that line. That line, by the way, we put in a while ago. We said once we break over here outside that trend line, it could be off to the races for Chainlink. That looks like that's happening right now. This is now support. Let me go ahead and push that over. What are we looking at? So we have the first bit of resistance over here. It's a light one, but it is resistance at $11.10. This is the bigger resistance over here at $12.94. Getting above that, then really, I think that's like Ethereum getting above $390. That's when Chainlink will have improved its structure and could be off to the races again. Nevertheless, everything here looking very solid now, regaining the momentum on these trend line breaks over there. What else did we want? There was Polkadot we wanted to look at. Let's take a look. So I'm not familiar. What's the ticker for Polkadot? Does anyone know? I'll pull it up if anyone tells me what the ticker is. I'm not really sure what it is. What else? I know there's a lot of people that follow XRP. You can see XRP is right into the trend line over here, right? So if we get a break above there, Dot, thank you. Appreciate that, brother. If we get a break above this trend line over here, you could see all of the crypto markets, by the way, right on time. Right on time. We got May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months. I've said it for a year now. 6 months after the halving is when I have my research shows that alt season begins. Everything here getting ready to send it, right? Interesting, nice, beautiful. Let's check out DOT. I don't have anything to say regarding the project itself. I'm just going to look at it from a TA standpoint, okay? So, massive. I don't need to say anything. By the way, is this the most data we have on the project? It's probably launched here on Binance. By the way, just massive what? Massive descending wedge here. That's all it is. Massive descending wedge. A breakout over here, right? Could send this thing to challenge its all-time highs. Big resistance over there, right where my mouse is right now, right? Do I want to even draw it in? I'll draw it in. Massive resistance right there. But at the same time, that's just a massive descending wedge pattern. And again, just like we saw Ripple, just like you saw Ethereum, just like you saw Chainlink, just like you saw Bitcoin challenging that trend line resistance over there. Why 6 months? I don't know why 6 months. You know, I have a Twitter post I could find for you over the weekend that explains all the research and why and when. But it's not the why, it's what is for me. It's always what is, not why. I don't even care why. I just care what is. That's how I think. That's what I do. My research from the past showed that it was 6 months. My hypothesis was that as Bitcoin begins climbing and everyone starts paying attention again to crypto, they're always like, Bitcoin's too expensive. So let me go ahead and buy some, coin that costs like pennies because I can make a lot more money. That's my hypothesis. I don't know if that's right or wrong. It doesn't even matter. Let's check out. Let's keep going over here. By the way, I digress. Let me keep going. I want to check out all of these learning experiences. We'll do in 1 second, but we will start with the euro US dollar over here. And that's not the chart I want to pick up. This is the chart I want to pick up. Here we go. So what do you see, everyone? It's been, by the way, we haven't looked at the euro US dollar all week, right? No, we haven't. Why? Because we were focused on cross pairs. Why? Because the DXY was caught in no man's land, right? So I haven't looked at this chart, and now we're looking at it, and we can see that what? We're still in this channel, right? You can see it clear as day. Is this a bullet? By the way, as we're in that channel, just keep that in mind. Focus that in your mind, right? Do you see that? We're coming towards that little bit of resistance right there, right? And now look on the euro US dollar, same thing being played out. What does this all mean for you? Well, this is a nice guide over here. As long as I don't trade channels or anything like that. A pull back into this support over here. A pull back into that channel again. Whenever that happens, that's going to provide a nice opportunity. What happens if we break out to the upside over here? Right, we got some resistance starts right about here. I'm going to draw that in at 1.191718. Let me draw that in over here. That's going to help us, right? Right over there. Why did I pick that level? Do you see over here the 1 touch, 2 touch? Over here we broke above it, held that support briefly, right? Came back above, right there, touch, another touch. That's a level for us to focus in on and pay attention to. But there's not much. It's not that interesting right now. It's not, right? Remember all this? Remember all of this was when it was super interesting, and that's when I was super involved. What's happening right now? Well, it's kind of sideways, and it's not that interesting. So I'm not focused here right now. That's the thing. We follow so many different instruments and so many different pairs, but we're narrowing that then down all the time, looking for that opportunity. Do I think the 15? Look, this is what I think is relevant on euro US dollar, just so everyone has an idea that this trend line break over here, this see that blue line that goes back 12 years to 2008, right? We had these two lines over here. I think a breakout above that trend line was super bullish. I think a breakout above the first one is when I started attacking to the upside was super bullish, right? So what do I think right now? I think that until we get back below that trend line, that's bullish. That's all I think. It's not a big deal, right? And over here, this is when we started looking for it and we held. So here we are. Let's look at this though, Euro Japanese yen. Let's take a look at this pair over here. It was still within this ascending wedge over here. Very clear, right? We did say, right, off of this support over here, that was a place to buy until you break down out of the wedge. And actually, we said we were looking into that resistance, right? Once we came into that resistance, if we broke down out of the wedge, that will open up the short. Nothing else has changed. The only thing you can see, this is trading technically perfect and beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and just remove this line over here, this blue box over here, just to make that clearer for us. We don't need that right now. So that all remains the same, right? Beautiful. What else is going on? I also see a similar wedge happening right here. I also see a similar wedge happening right there, right? By the way, I got to clean this chart up. Cannot have, hold on 1 second. Boom. Boom. 500 likes. That's a lot of likes. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that support over there. All right. And it looks like we're breaking above this one. Let's clean this up. Enough said. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen continues to pump. Pump. Nothing else to do. But I could just look at a chart, and if there's nothing for us to do or act on, we'll just keep moving along. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. This is now interesting, taking out this resistance over there, regaining its bullishness. And when I say that, looking for some longs now to the upside on any retest. It's not only, by the way, the horizontal $76. It's also this over here. Extend that a little bit. I just want to get a good look at that line. I don't like that line. I don't like that line. I'm going to remove it. All right. Focused in on the horizontal over there, coming into resistance, right? Or let me back up 1 second. Do you see this trend line over here? Where's that going back to? That's going back 6 years, right? You can see that trend line over there. Do you wait until you break back above this trend line over here and above, right? Above the resistance over there at 76.70? Or do you wait until we really clear back above 78.50 to start attacking long? I don't know. Maybe all those things. I don't see any rush or reason that the need to get back into this one right yet. Just now, it's starting to look to very much improve. But look over here at this resistance over here at 76.70, right? I think getting above that resistance over there, I think that's when, right ahead of that trend line break, is when I first might look to enter. I'm just kind of figuring out what might be happening later. Nothing's happening right now. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, there's lots of indexes, and that's a great play. The indexes, by the way, whether you're trading the top 20, top 30, top 70, they tend to outperform Bitcoin by a factor of 4x. That's a big deal. Now, what happens if you just use 3x on Bitcoin? Is there a need to play the alts? Not in my opinion. Yeah, we could go over the other metals of course. Let's start with Kips's nickel, right? And I thought we marked up this chart. Oh, we have just over here. Let me step back over here. And we're just in this large channel over here, right? This is what I see when I look at this chart over here. And we're appropriately so to when we follow nickel to do it on the 3 days, as that's a long-term investment. We talked about earlier in the week why he's paying attention to it, because of the batteries, because of the electric vehicles batteries. You saw the US made a big investment into some Brazilian miners in order to counterplay China's monopoly on this, on the cobalt and on the nickel. And over here, you see that beautiful, right? Within this range, your eyes should be focused in on this channel, right? And then within that range, and by the way, just clone this with your eyes. This is the meat of the channel. Clone this with your eyes, and you could put another touch from here to here to here, and then another one from here down over here happening as well. But this is the meat and the bones over here, this channel. You could see the rejection of the resistance into support, resuming off the support, right? Most likely sending us back towards another touch of that resistance up there. So anyway, you're looking at anytime you're looking at an extended bull market, if that's what you believe is happening over here, and that's how you're looking to trade it, it's very simple. You're looking to buy off pullbacks into support. That's your game plan. Let's keep going. Nice, very nice trading, Kips. Thanks for bringing that to our attention so that we could all follow along with you. What else we got? We'll go up. We'll go from Palladium first. Palladium, look at that. Just sending it. That's all I could say. It's just sending it. I'm looking as it's into this bit of supply from where my mouse is right here at 25.16 down to where currently price is. All that area is a bit of supply it needs to work through. Look, keep it simple. Uptrends, buy off support. Now's not the time to FOMO and chase after the trade. Okay? Now is not the time to FOMO and chase in after this at all. And it's probably across the board, right? Platinum, no. Platinum, we've been all following this channel over here. The last pullback of support, beautiful, but it's coming into resistance. When this breaks out over here, if and when, I should say, if and when it breaks out of this trend line over there, that's the time to really start attacking. It's still inside the channel, so there's no play unless you come back down towards the end of the channel, towards the bottom of the channel. That gives you another opportunity then to buy, but not over here as you're towards the upper half and into resistance. You wait for the breakout or you wait for the lower play. If we don't break out and run today, do you see an ascending wedge on the bottom of the S&P 500? I mean, do I see it? No, I don't. I don't see an ascending wedge at all. I don't see that, if that's what you're looking at. Is it there? Maybe, but I don't see that at all. And we're just going to keep monitoring this as long as we're above this trend line. By the way, it's super bullish over here. As long as we're above this trend line, it's still bullish, and as long as we're above this support, it's very bullish. So until and if we break those things, then we'll start reevaluating on the downside. But look, I think I highlighted a tweet yesterday, and I'm going to pull it up for everyone because it's really important. All right. Hold on one second. This is really important. Yeah, we could look at the pound Australian dollar next, of course. We'll talk about that in 1 minute. But let me highlight this tweet over here. And here it is. And it says from James Jude. Why aren't I following James? One thing that took me a couple of decades to learn is the short game doesn't play by the same rules as the long game. This is all true. Listen up. Shorts need to be perfectly timed on entries, on exits. Longs have the luxury to be lazy and stupid. A well-timed short will yield a fatter, quicker yield, thus the allure. The bears, man, are always so bearish, and the markets are not bearish, right? This was a fun time. That was all fun in the sun. This was super difficult, right? This was super fun also, and I was all over that. This was super difficult, and then since, right, it's been long, and more often than not, when you look at the markets, it's what side, to the up or down side, right? So, bears get loud really quick, as they were earlier in the week, right over here. Bears got really loud over here. You see Twitter blowing up, and everyone's like, see, I'm right. Man, but you've been wrong for so long. So I don't see an ascending wedge here yet. Maybe it's there, but I think you're looking at the wrong side, because we're all bullish, right? We're looking to take profits today, whether we protect ourselves to the downside or a little push to trade a little bit further. All right, so pound Australian dollar, let's take a look over there. Before we look at it, I just want to, I'll pull up the chart first. I'm going to fall back over here. I want you to see what you see, but I want to just remind you what happened to my chart. It's gone. My computer restarted yesterday. October 15th, next week, is the deadline the UK give the ECB, the EU rather, on some type of a deal. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. The EU is looking to call their bluff. It's a hot event next week. It could be a market mover. There's no reason to be involved in any type of British pound trade right now. Avoid the sterling. Wait until there's clarity and then look to attack. I'm just going to clean this up. That's a big level right there, that resistance. But I'm going to make this one darker. I'll make that one really dark, because that's the top of the range. Let me put it there, right? That's the top of the range, right? Over here. Where's the bottom one belong? I guess I'll leave it there. Let me come back to the 8 hour with y'all. This is, in my opinion, this is what? In a big range, but super sideways, right? And you're dead center in the middle. So is this out of all of the opportunity we see in the markets, is this where you want to focus? No, it's not. That's okay. It doesn't but it's not where you want to focus. There's no edge here. There's no movement, and that's it. And plus you're dealing with a highly volatile instrument. That's my opinion. That's my look. If me showing you what I just looked at helps you see something different, that's a win also, and I'm glad for that. Cassidy, thank you, brother. Appreciate that very much. Definitely appreciate that. What do we got in here? 1,300 people, 600 likes. That's a good session. There you go, Danielle. That's a good session over there. New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen, of course. Let's take a look over there. Oh, this is super interesting. I'm going to come back to the 3-day just to show you this trend line over here. Is that perfectly placed? I don't think so. I don't think it's perfectly placed, but again, I don't perfectly place lines like that. For me, they're there for guidance. And if you're off on a little bit, it's to show you that they're just there for guidance. You'll have better results. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to extend that line out like this because it looks like we're breaking above it today. Very, very bullish sign over here. That looks interesting. I don't have that highlighted, but I'm just going to put that green so I know to look at that, right? So in an ideal world, what happens next? In an ideal world, the world is not ideal in that aspect. If you come up, into that little bit of resistance, pull back, retest, breakout, that's a money shot over there. I love trendline breaks. They don't always work out. But I love playing them because that's where the big multi-year moves could happen. So, by the way, you could see this little touch over here. I'm not putting, nah, that's messy. I could say this is messy, and I could say that's messy. I don't see an upper trend line we could put in that would help us. Nevertheless, I like this a lot coming into next week, a lot, and I'm going to be following it and tracking. Huge descending wedge on dot. That's right. Yeah. So listen, if you're looking at some type of battery play, you're probably better off playing the overall sector than an individual company, right? And you know that's the best advice we could give you. Are you still no? Am I still in Tezos? No, I sold out of Tezos whenever I mentioned that, and I'm still holding Chainlink and Ethereum. And even though I'll sell out of both of them early, I will sell out of both of them early. I'll sell out of both of them early, probably sometime around when Bitcoin's trading around $18,000. I'll simply sell out of them only because I just want to be trading Bitcoin. No, it's off of the 8 hour. Off of the 8 hour. They're taxing 45% on stocks. Well, Enrico, is that, do they have capital gains? How does that work over there if you hold for over a year? I'm not sure how that works over there. Yeah, let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla's messy for me. Hold on one second. Tesla's messy for me. I don't have a read on it. I just need to clean that all up. And I thought we did that yesterday. I don't know why that's all back here. Let me just click save. Hopefully that stays now. Tesla's messy for me. I don't see an edge at all at this moment. My eyes are attracted to this, right? And this trend line, by the way, this one held here, kind of held here. As long as you're above it, there's no reason to be any type of bearishness whatsoever on Tesla. I thought breaking out over here was going to send this. I hate individual stocks personally, and I think Tesla, in my opinion, is much like Bitcoin in that it's an asymmetrical bet. Either you're betting on Tesla that it's going to zero, or 10 years from now or 20 years from now, it's going to be an absolute juggernaut. That's I think the play on Tesla, rather than trading it. But now I don't have a clear shot at this. But if the best I could give is just following that trend line, except it's tough. It's tough to play, in my opinion. That's how I see it. Let's come back over here. Let's check out the markets now. They've been open for about 20 minutes. Again, we all have a clear indication on whether or not we make a lower low over there from the overnight London session. Time to get out. Just get neutral into the weekend. Be happy about a nice trade, or push it into the resistance and probably also do the same. Take profit and get out over the weekend, even though we're looking at possible bullish event of a stimulus agreement could be very bullish here for the markets. Could be all about crypto over the weekend. I don't know that's going to happen. We know that we're into resistance right over here. Right? What about, Chainlink's the only one leading on the upside. Is it into resistance? Not really, a light level. But potentially here to break out to a much bigger move, right? Or rejected. If we're rejected here at this resistance, look what happened the last two times you were rejected. Not only did it fail, but this lower trend line broke below. Rejection broke the lower trend line. Watch out for that, right? Always be aware of your back. Is it possible you're rejected here and then fall back again below that trend line? Bearish, if that occurs. If that occurs, that could be setting up a nice break of that trend line that could send us up next week to closing the CMA gap. I don't think that's happening, but be aware that could happen, right? Be aware so that as it's happening, if it happens, you're not frozen like a deer in headlights, but you already know your levels ahead of time. If you know your levels ahead of time, you're able to act, right? Would it be bullish to come back and test that one and hold it now after failure? Failure? Yeah, super bullish if that happens. You know, with the gravy ride, just breaking out above. That would be fantastic. Could happen. We'll see what happens. All right. I think that's a pretty good overview of where we're at today, being that it's a Friday, right? So we kind of could have opened this up for just some fun. If there's anything else we want to discuss, any macro, anything we want to talk about, I'm going to take a sip of matcha and try to catch up on some comments. If anyone else wants to get off early, this is the time to do it. It's been, it's a short session so far, 50 minutes, but we have that awareness that we're looking for. That's the whole thing. Instead of going into the session, a lot of new traders just like jump in front of the chart and then they're like, I'm buying. For what reason and why, right? We have that strong awareness of what's going on around us. We have that like calmness. That's a position of power. All right. So yeah, man. Thank you, brother. How do you trade the SPY, QQQ? Do you use any ETF? Look, I mean, I don't know whether, the Interactive Brokers is a phenomenal broker in my opinion. How you trade these things, that's entirely up to you. Daniel, thank you, brother. No, I never traded an option in my life. In my life, I've never traded an option. And the reason I don't trade options is because I'm not an expert at them. Simple. I'm not an expert. I'm not gonna, in the markets, right? You're competing against experts. I'm not gonna venture into a realm where I don't have an edge. You know, I could say I'm an expert in FX. I'm an expert on chart analysis. I'm not an expert. Could you use the system taught in the course and trade options? 100% if you understand time decay, if you understand how to price options, and you're willing to put that work in and learn. I have a much better, easier time just trading spot. Yeah, I mean, that's something that we talk about in the course, right? When I review what time of day, how I perform my analysis, when in the week, and what we place trades throughout the week. That's all the stuff that we do in the course, of course. So listen, Eli, I'm going to take that question, and I'm going to take that question with, I'm just giving my opinion, and that's it. I believe, and I don't know what I don't. It's a risk event. I said before, I don't know what happens. I think the greatest risk to the markets, and it's not a bad risk, is that there is actually a clear winner on election night, and that there's no ensuing chaos afterwards. Everyone's prepared for the chaos afterwards. It's kind of like Y2K, right? Everyone, on Y2K, everyone thinks that if you're not basically Y2K, as we turn to 2000, when they first built computers, they weren't planning or prepared for that little calculation. So all the clocks on the computers like set back. It was this like massive thing. Doomsday is going to be the end of the world, and nothing happened, which is more often the case when everyone's prepared for something. It's the thing that no one's prepared for that usually happens. It's not the thing that everyone's watching. So everyone right now is expecting on election night that, everyone's actually thinking that on election night there's going to be a clear winner, that winner is going to be, let's say, challenged, and that there's going to be rioting in the streets. Could that happen? Of course that could happen. I don't think any one of us would be surprised. I do think, this is all I will say, I think on election night that Trump wins in a landslide. And I don't know what happens afterwards. We'll figure that all out together. Now, the polls are showing differently. That doesn't mean anything. I can say in 2016 that I definitely, from what I saw, my wife knows, she was there with me. I thought that strongly felt that Trump was going to win, and what was the Hillary was supposed to be like a 95% shoo-in, whatever it was. That's what I think happens. I don't know what happens after election night. We'll be there together, maybe not on election night, but we will be there together as normal, figuring it out as it comes. I don't try to like project what is going to happen and then trade around that. I I see what is happening, how the market is reacting, and that's how I trade. Shane, you're going to start receiving first 2 hours later an email for getting started, and then tomorrow another email, and then after that 2 days later another email. Those emails are going to get you situated. They're going to have what you need to focus in on for best practices, what you need to do, and one of those emails will also include the link to the Telegram chat. So just watch out for those emails. They'll be coming. And by the way, super excited to be working more closely with you. We will have this Tuesday as well, a live training session. Later, probably on Monday, that email goes out almost every Monday, sometimes a little in advance. But on Monday, you'll also receive an email with that information so you could join us live or watch the replay. Has your channel hit a year yet? I think it's at the end of October, Gary. I'm not exactly sure that when we started doing these videos, but it's at the end of October, some place at the end of October. So it's almost been 1 year, and man, what a beautiful atmosphere, environment we have really created, and I'm so happy. I can't imagine what the next few years are going to look like. You know, we have a great group of people here. Every day, I'm excited to be here, to learn with you all, to grow with you all, to share with you all. And I'm grateful for that. I don't like to look at individual stocks, but for you, I'm going to do that, brother, because you're here every day. You're adding to the community, right? So, JSE, let's take a look at it. Is this it right here? Is that what we're looking at over there? What is IMP? Oh, that says IMP. All right, hold on. No, it doesn't. I don't know what you're trying to look at over there, or if you're looking at this. Man, I want to come back up and then I want to catch the rest of the comments. I want to see if Michael has a comment over there. Tell me what I should be. Oh man, I missed so many comments. All right. Well, I'm gonna let that go. I'll come back to it later if you put back in the comment what you're looking for. But I'm coming all the way back up to exactly where it was. And since it's Friday, I'm going over all these comments. Well, that's a lot. Richard, by the way, as I scroll up, thank you for that, brother. Thanks for being here with us. Oh, Doey, look at that, man. Thank you for that. As a proxy to BTC is a blockchain ETF, a reasonable. You have GBTC. That's probably the best option right now. It's grayscale, ticker GBTC. Kips, always keeping everyone in the long term right side over there. Jeremiah, thank you, brother. Yeah, so like for a question like this, look, this is so easy to find out. Just put that exact question into a search engine and you're going to find out exactly what you want to know, right? I'm here to help you do something that other people, listen, I lay out the charts, right? Yeah, of course we use leverage. Of course. So, brother, if you get back to that, let me know. All right. Let me keep going over here. Let me scroll back down. I want to find out everyone that's huge over there, right? Kips. What else we got going over there? There we go, Shane. I remember that as well. Y2K, people going over there. We looked at XRP earlier in the session. We did look at XRP, and you can see that it's challenging that outer resistance right over there. A break above that will send this, and we all know that XRP rips. It could rip. You also know that Ripple, the parent company, is selling XRP to fund their company. So, Anthony, look at gold, right? This should be light, by the way. May I please go ahead and just flip this back into a little bit lighter over here? That's just there as a guide. That's not a level we're focused in on, by the way. And, just come back to our original analysis this morning and look at gold because nothing's changed. Nothing's changed at all. Now, there is a big risk event, by the way. If between now and the election, the markets break down, which is entirely possible, if the markets break down, and I mean for all intents and purposes crash, let's say like from where they are today, like if they're down about, let's call it into that 3,100 level, somewhere around there, then Trump will have a difficult time getting reelected. And that could happen. We'll watch out for it. If that is happening, then I think he will have a tough time getting reelected. I mean, I agree that President Trump will win in a landslide, and of course the polls are skewed. You could look at Brexit, you could look at the last Trump Hillary election, but that's not to get political. That's just a fact. And he could, Oz, like I said, right now, if the markets, and I think it's all dependent on the markets and nothing else. If the markets wind up selling off hard and crashing, which they can, right? Because think about the carrot being held before the markets right now. That's stimulus, right? Think about the carrot, and then like at the last second, if they pull that stimulus, could the markets crash again? Yeah, I mean, if the markets are crashing, I think Trump could have a tough time getting reelected. See the doom. That's a good take over there. That everyone likes to talk about doomsday scenario, and it's true. You could look at some other channels over here directly related to what we do, and they're always talking about the markets are crashing and the markets are crashing and the markets are crashing. It's like fear porn, and everyone's all attracted to it. And over here, we're kind of like right and steady, right and steady, right and steady. Those that get it are here with us, and everyone else is not attracted to it, but it doesn't matter. ASML. So tough to look at these things, but what do you all see, right? When you look at that, I mean, trying to get a clear view. That's why I can't. You guys all know I don't like individual equities over there. I mean, that's what I see, right? You know, you guys all know the plan. You all know what to do from here. Do you buy here right now? No, of course. You never FOMO. You never chase up. Look at that. Overextended. By the way, buying when the entry CCI is overbought, that's chasing momentum all day long. You're not looking to buy here. Is that an uptrend or a downtrend? Did that just pop out of consolidation? Right? What are you doing? Retest? Look for consolidation or resumption out of it? You got this. I mean, Biden could wind up being the next president if for somehow this thing is challenged in the courts, no question about it. But will he win in a landslide? No, there's no way. Bitcoin candles, 727. It's a Friday session, so we're going a little slower right now. The first 50 minutes, by the way, was where we did all our work. Right now, we're just hanging out, having fun, right? 7:27. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. I hope we put in a candle like that. We're not doing that right now, but that could easily happen, right? And that was off of the breakout of a trend line as well. That was a massive trend line though. That was from all-time highs to the June 2019 high. By the way, just like let's look at a daily chart here. Let me zoom out a little bit, right? Looking at this last bit of the cycle, price ever since the all-time high was making lower highs. Here was the first big lower high into the trend line. This was a lower high, but this was the one into the trend line, right? Lower highs. And then we're now, ever since we broke out the trend line, we're now making higher highs. Whether you look at either one of those two, we're now making higher swing highs, right? Are we making lower swing lows? It appears so. It appears so. So obviously the next thing for us to do is take out this level over here, right around 14,000. Let me just clean up my chart, get back to the love. I'm not trying to get any, like, I just gave my opinion. It's no problem. Did they change the poll? They have not changed the polls, though, Daniel. And I don't know who winds up ultimately being the president, but on election night, Trump will win in a landslide. Yeah. And what will be the response? And yeah, so we'll just be prepared, and we'll in a level-headed manner, we'll do our best to work through it together. Because at the end of the day, we're all on the same side. It is we, the people. Anthony, man, if that's true, man, then it'll be, it could very well be, and we'll figure out what's going to happen, how the markets are going to react if that is going to happen, um, together. Uh, Something about harmonic patterns? No, that I don't pay attention to. See, this is the thing about the markets. The markets are first of all, the markets are extraordinarily difficult. If someone's showing you how to profit from them in an easy way, why do you want to make things complicated and subjective, right? You have fib retracements, you have moving averages, you have harmonic patterns, you have a gazillion different options and a gazillion different things conflicting with each other. But at the end of the day, it's all about price, and price alone is what we trade with the along the market structure of support and resistance. And if you can't see after spending just a few days here how all these levels are the perfect, let's say the perfect guide for helping us implore and assess our risk, then you don't get it, and that's not for you. But you should be able to see that all day long, right? So we take something extraordinarily complicated, the markets, where you have unlimited options, almost unlimited options, and could have a million different conflicting indicators, including looking at the 4-hour, 15-minute, like time frames conflict with each other, and we make it simple. And that, my friend, is actually genius. Taking something so complicated and simplifying it down. That's right. Whoever that I agree with you, Kips. Whoever wins, it does not matter for the precious metals. Bud, I'm not. I mean, but I'm so say Martin. Check your bulk email filters, and then just go to the website conquertrades.com. This would be the first time that ever happened. This would be literally. So this would be the first time that ever happened. But all you need to do is go send me an email through the website, through the web form, and I'll take care of that right away for you. All right. That was pretty funny, Anthony. That was hysterical. I didn't see any memes on that. I would love to, though. That was hysterical. Doug, thank you. Thank you, Sam. Man, Sam, thanks for always being so supportive. Thanks for always being that bright light, that positive energy. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Is gold teeing off? Yeah, gold is teeing off today. See, the equity markets are kind of still. By the way, there's about 50 minutes right now until the London close. Well, everyone has their levels and what to do. I feel good about that. Pacifist Pips, Kips with the daily facts. Yeah, JC, that's right. Oh, that's right. We definitely do. Kids love them pinatas, I'll tell you that much. Thank you, Joseph. WES. Ah. Well, it seems to be in a downtrend, right? It seems to be in a downtrend. There's the March bottom. I don't know. There's a lot of pretty looking charts out there. I don't know anything about the company, so I can't tell you what's going on over there. That's the thing about trading. That's the thing about trading public companies. You have to know what's going on under the hood. I have no idea what business they're in. I have no idea what their balance sheet looks like. I have no idea what their future prospects look like. From a TA standpoint, I mean, it is not looking healthy. Rich, thank you for that, man. Thank you for that so much. That was the goal. The goal was 50,000 in the first year. And again, it's still a big goal. It was a huge goal and it's a good achievement. But I do like setting goals that we can achieve. Carlos, thank you, brother. You all are. Gamble, thanks for being here today. Is it hitting horizontal resistance? Is it hit? I don't see a level right here too big. More up at 1938. You got some horizontal light local resistance. You're hitting this resistance right over there. That's a light level. That's why it's so light on that chart. Alan, let's get it. Let's get it. And by the way, those things, I like to set goals that I believe can be achieved 140K. For the record, I believe it overshoots. But we'll cross that bridge as we get to it. Google. We looked at Google yesterday. I don't know, man. I don't have a clear edge on that at all. You're definitely still coming up into a lot of supply right here. I don't have an edge whatsoever. I can say, well, I can't say anything. I don't have anything to add to the conversation. And to be honest, if I can't add any valuable insight, I'm not going to do it. It's very rare that people are able to predict a black swan event. That's true. Yeah, that's fine. By the way, you know, anyone and everyone, when it comes to Bitcoin, like, should you be trading it? I mean, not me. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Now, I am going to be releasing the video, and there's no rush on it yet, which is why I haven't even done it, because it's going to be a good one anyway. It's going to be very important, at least, on the best way to trade the Bitcoin bull market. But that's from an investor standpoint, by the way. That doesn't mean swing trading. I don't believe anyone should be swing trading Bitcoin. Swing trade FX. Everyone should be accumulating Bitcoin, and there's still a lot of time to get into accumulation of Bitcoin. Yeah, we haven't looked at Litecoin. Let's take it out. Litecoin is lagging. Trying to get an edge here. I'm trying to get an edge. I don't have one. That's a good resistance right there. I mean, Litecoin's not looking so great right now. Looks like there's a lot better looking, a lot better looking picks in the bunch. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, Litecoin's not looking so great. Yeah, Danielle, stocks, first of all, you're dealing with, so I don't know how big the stock market is today, how much is traded each day, but it's in the low billions, right? Well, either which way, FX is about $5 to $7 trillion turnover a day. It is not even, it's a considerably more liquid market, right? Best thing about FX also that it's trading 24 hours a day. Now, some people may think that, well, that's a disadvantage because I can't be following the market 24 hours a day. Well, it doesn't matter. Neither do I. I do my analysis with y'all in the morning. And then again, before bed, I spend another 10 minutes or so to go ahead and review the charts and decide where I'm placing my orders. That's a lifestyle right there, right? FX trades 24 hours a day, accounting for what? We live in a 24-hour global environment today. Stocks are gapping up and down, and it's so annoying and it's so unclean, and it makes it very difficult from a TA perspective to be able to trade off that well. If, for example, you get the president of the United States tweeting something, late at night, and you need to get out of your positions, you have that ability in FX. You don't have that ability in stocks. FX trades very clean, very clean. Stocks do not. We have people within the course who join the course and then for the first month continue trading the indexes, continue trading gold and silver. And then some of them after that month on their own said, you know what, I'm going to listen. If something's being told to me how I could get to be successful, I'm going to do it. And then there's the comment that was left when Ken was asking for some comments for people in the course on the YouTube video. And you had someone responding that and then said, and since I've been profitable 3 months in a row. That's an enormous achievement. That's an enormous achievement. And then once you figure out that flow of the market, yeah, you could go into the trade stocks. You could trade gold and silver, crypto. And crypto does trade very technically well, like FX. And you could trade, the indexes with a lot more authority, with a lot more clarity, with a lot more ease. But should you start where I'm kind of not suggesting, where I'm saying that it's much easier? I think so. I think you should learn how to profit regularly on something that's easier to do, and then go ahead, if you still love the public markets, trade stocks. That's my opinion. Where are the oscillators on your chart? Do you need a hug, brother? Thank you. Appreciate that from the heart. I definitely do. Thank you that, because I'm happy to share my insight. It not only helps those around me, I love building up those around me. That's where true happiness comes from. There's no question about that. And it also helps continue further my education by having to teach things from a educator standpoint. It definitely continues helping me to learn, grow, and it's just a good relationship for sure. JC wants to look at BNTX. Looks bullish, huh? I mean, man, what do you do? That's This reminds me of the Hang Seng Index trading the mini futures back in 2003. Man, that was the fastest moving market I ever trade, and I thrived off it, and I loved it. And it's much easier to trade a fast moving market like that if you're day trading than anything else. But this thing, man, has some big and powerful moves. How do you get in front of that? Right, well, right now, way overbought, way overbought. Look at that. Look on that first pullback of the true trend over there. There's where the trend changed. Look at that. Look at. By the way, just check this out really quick because this is kind of interesting. Nothing more than that. So I'm gonna like, where do you put the trend line? Like that, right? And then I see this also. Hold on with me 1 second. No, I don't see that. I see this though. That's clear as day, right? You could see these touch. Hold on. You see these touches over here. The close of the bars here, over Kien resistance over there. So look where the breakout occurred. Look where the breakout occurred right here. Look at the true trend turning positive. But look, right there was the first high probability entry as the entry CCI pulled back versus the true trend. Right there was the trigger. That's the first easy entry I see to get into that trade. What about this breakout over here of that, right? Breakout gives an entry right over here. You have multiple retests. That's difficult. That's tough. That's a tough pair to trade, but it looks as bullish as can be, but with some huge volatility involved. You know, huge volatility. Amazon leading the markets now. That's exciting. That's good. I'm not, so when you're talking about GBTC, there's a premium involved. I think it's like 7% right now. But as far as, the best thing you could get to something in the public markets that tracks Bitcoin, that's what we have to work with. I own some. No, it's all Bitcoin. I trade spot Forex. I trade spot Forex. You got it. Inspire. Absolutely. My pleasure. So I saw a headline on NVIDIA overnight. Sorry. And they were buying another chip maker. It was like $1 billion deal, multi-billion-dollar deal, I should say. Right? So obviously, wow. I mean, it's been on a tear. There's no question about that, right? So what are you looking for, right? No question about it. Bull market. By the way, just keep extending that trend line up over here. I think that as long as you're above that level, you're maintaining that bullish posture. This is why you watch the indexes, though. If the indexes start breaking down at any point, then on individual stocks, they could come under pressure, probably a long-term buying opportunity. But I think right now it's simple. Huge bull market. You're looking to buy off support. You're looking for consolidation periods, and you're looking to buy the breakouts of them. Here we go. IMP. Oh man, you guys just missed all that. It's very important. Let me fall back with you really quick. Sorry about that. Let's go. Thank you for that. You guys, you're such a. Here we go. So let me rewind. What I was saying. Sorry about that, Mike. We got you now. Thank you, brother. So what we're saying over here is looking at the pound US dollar. Keep into mind, first of all, is a huge risk event coming next week. October 15th is the deadline that the UK has given the EU for some type of deal. Now, the EU is calling that bluff. So it appears that we're running into a huge risk event next week. But more importantly, you could see over here that it's having trouble at this resistance right now, why the DXY is breaking down. That's a sign of weakness. That's not a sign of strength, right? Because if it was a strength, even though it's up on the day, almost a 0.5% or 0.4%, it's still having trouble getting above that resistance level, right? So more importantly, because of the nature of the risk event coming next week and the uncertainty, it makes sense to avoid this pair, then focus in on it. You're looking not for volatility, you're looking for high probability. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention is that while we were just looking at some public companies, and it's like, look, I was very clear, like they're messy. They don't trade technically as well. Even this right now with the uncertainty, look how technically well this trades. It's just the clarity is such a big difference, right? The clarity, look at this channel, right? It's trading within the channel, the breakout, the retest. It's all so easy. You have to see the advantage of FX, and because it's a huge one. And that's why I recommend it to you. It trades technically so much clearer. What happens if you trade above that resistance though? It's still weak. Do you see how the pound is weak with the dollar breaking down today? The pound is having trouble getting above that resistance. So you want to go where there's strength, not trade something that's weakness. And why the dollar is breaking down, by the way, it does. So you don't want to go long on the dollar versus the pound. So right, that's how you do it. Tacos for everybody. Thank you. Have a great weekend. I got the sound back. All right. So that's all good, but we don't play that game in here, right? Whether you support the president, whether you don't support the president, there's no politics involved in over here. We're simply looking at the markets, and we do need to talk about what we need to talk about. Look, I think Trump wins in a landslide election night. Great, no big deal. But we got to keep this a good environment where we could all really thrive in together. Oh, wow, look at this. Big announcement over here. I recommend Mr. Javier Aaron for anyone who wants to trade. You could contact him at Javier Aaron on UpTrades for secure and reliable trading. Man, thanks for the tip on that. That sounds great. That sounds great. If I sent him 2 Bitcoin, will he send me 4 back? Jordan, where do you see the next key support level for the dollar? I have a couple of them, right? This little bit of trend line over there, right? Watch it. It's not key support, but watch it and look over at the Euro US dollar right now at the same time. You could see that that is also coming up into that trend line as well. Okay, that's a light level though, at least on the DXY it is. On the DXY, if we break below that little bit of a light trend line I have over there, I have it in very light. I'll just make it a tiny bit brighter. The reason I have it so light is because I think it's a light level. But I'll make it a little bit brighter. If we break below that, I think we're then coming in to challenge this support over here that's coming in right around 92.30. Around 92.30 is what I think is the big support. Look, the market, what it's been paying attention to over the last few months, this was all resistance. That line was resistance. And then when it broke, it has since been support. So I think that's an important level. I think that's what the market focuses on. We have to see if it holds. And if it doesn't, then I think that there's a good chance we take out the yearly low. GDX. I mean, looks like a bull flag. right? Looks like a big bull flag over there. So do you see how loose I draw that anyway? Like, first of all, it's a public market, right? Look how just it's not as technically sweet as FX is, but here's what you're looking at. You're looking at a bull flag and in a big uptrend. Boom. Clear as day. How do you play that? You all know, wait for the breakout or on retest below. All right. Boom. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, Zen, this is tough enough without politics, but you have to have an opinion on how politics will affect the market. I think we do a good job at finding that balance. And I just want to make sure that we keep it like that. That's all. No? Emil, I don't know what you're saying here. It seems today that the SPX has decoupled from the DXY. I'm not following that, you know? But listen, when it comes to all correlations, right? There are times and periods where things are correlated. The crisis was the perfect example, by the way, because everything was correlated down to one or almost one at that point, right? And then there are times when correlations break, you know, and you can't trade off correlations alone. Okay, you could observe them, you could watch what's happening at the time, but you can't trade off correlations alone. M Rivera, thank you, brother. I actually saw that message. I didn't get a chance to respond that you sent 2 days ago, and absolutely loved it. And I'm glad to be working with you and looking forward to watching you grow and thrive. Thanks for that message. Appreciate it, brother. XAG. Y'all love you some public stocks over here. Which is this? What is this? I mean, man, that seems dangerous. XLM. Is that leading the way? Oh, it's XMR. By the way, let's get some Monero love first over here. Look at Monero leading the way over here. XLM. What is XLM? That's Bifinex. Let's look at something else. Ugh. Coinbase. Oh, man. What is XLM? I don't see any good exchanges. I guess we're stuck with Bifinex. Yeah. I don't really have much to say about that. Looks like there's better horses in the race. I mean, be careful getting caught up in playing the flavor of the day. Be careful get caught up in playing the flavor of the day, right? Look, if you don't have an edge, someone else has an edge over you. We looked at XRP earlier. It's testing the resistance right now. It looks like it could break out over here. And if it breaks out over here, it got rejected hard so far by that resistance. So far, right? Back into the support. A breakout above this outer trend line over here is what sends XRP. It's got rejected pretty hard. You could see Bitcoin having trouble at the resistance right now. And you could see also Ethereum also into resistance. But everyone's probably focused right now here on the precious metals, riding that. Let's see what happens after the market closes. Yeah, usually that is the correlation. So that's why I don't see the correlation broke over there for sure. However, there are times, January, February, when you see the dollar rising and also stocks going up. A correlation is a correlation. until it's broken. But that's what I see. I see the SPX up today, SPY up today, and I see the dollar down. That's why I say I don't see the correlation you're talking about, the break of correlation you're talking about. Wow, from Monero. That's true. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. TRB. TRB. I'm Beyonce. Binance, excuse me. Binance. So is that, let's see, is that breaking out of a huge descending wedge over here? Let's just try to get a little bit of a look on that. It's close. I don't think it's broken out yet, but it's on the verge. It's on the verge, right? Everyone could see that really quick. By the way, just so you know what I did, right? I focused my eyes over here and then over there. And then you could see that puts us right over here, right? So instead of focusing on whether or not this is even like a descending wedge, which it appeared to me first, that's the first thing I thought I saw, right? More importantly, you just need to focus on this one trend line. And just like the rest of the crypto markets right now, on the verge of breaking out of that same trend line, this thing has the potential to go with it. I don't know anything about the project though. I don't know anything about the project, and it's important when you're talking about, just the same thing when you're looking at individual stocks. You better know what their business is. You better understand whether or not they're a growth play, what their balance sheet looks like, how much cash they're burning through. You have to understand everything when you're investing in a public company. It's the same thing if you're investing in altcoins. You better understand what the project's about, who the team is, and what they're doing. Oh, I'm neither. I don't. I would say South Park. I don't watch South Park, but I would say South Park. It's just that it's very vulgar for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, the 8 hour is by far a huge edge. It's one of the easiest edges you can give yourself, by the way. Yeah, it's like a $7 or $8 upgrade a month on TradingView, but totally, totally worth it. And so, by the way, how are the markets reacting? So far, nothing, right? Nothing has changed, by the way, if that's crossing the line. Thank you for letting us know. Um, but the markets are not reacting to anything right now. Yes, Nick is asking, everyone listen up. Nick is asking if something less severe but similar happened again like in March with the market, which was a dollar liquidity crisis. Would that hurt or change the immediate bull cycle of Bitcoin? Yes, there's no question about it. If there was any type of liquidity crisis, it would affect the near-term price of Bitcoin. However, just like the last crisis, though, which was a big hit over here, this was really caused by BitMEX and the liquidation loop that it got caught in. This is exactly when BitMEX went down, right? So is it a good thing that, the U.S. government is putting pressure on BitMEX for the overall crypto space in general? I think so. Is that setting up a possible ETF? I think so. Would that be good for the space? Absolutely. So what are we looking at over there? If we had another liquidity crisis, would that happen 100%? It would put pressure on the near-term prospects of Bitcoin. I think it would be a similar thing. The Fed is going to act quick, act powerful if we have any type of liquidity crisis. Bitcoin will absolutely respond during the bull market phase as it did over here. However, the one thing that I want to say is that there does not appear to be any type of dollar liquidity crisis, dollar liquidity problems at this time. There does not appear to be any type of pressure on the dollar whatsoever at this time, in my opinion. Thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness, Greg, you're late. It's been the first 15 minutes were a good one. First 50 minutes were a really solid session, and these next 50 minutes have been fun. Really, a Friday jam session. A Friday jam session. I like the ticker there, Adele, because you're focused over here, right? You're focused on what's happening over here, price in front of you. But I like the ticker because it helps people see what exactly we're looking at. It seems to me that you're seeing the tip of the iceberg of public companies believing that Bitcoin is a better investment than bonds. That I think you're seeing the tip of the iceberg. Square yesterday took $50 million to purchase Bitcoin. That was their first step. It's so difficult to make that first step. That first purchase is the hardest. Adding more, that's easy. Long thoughts on Bitcoin? Man, Robert, on this channel, I put a lot of work into the Bitcoin playlist. If you want to see my thoughts on Bitcoin, if you really want to understand the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin, those videos are for you. Highly recommend them. De nada. Yeah, Seinfeld holds up well. I agree with that. I didn't see it. I don't watch South Park. Great to have you here with us. Sign World? What is that? What's the ticker? We looked at GLD. It looked like it was in the midst of a massive bull flag, right? It looked like it was in the midst of a massive bull flag. Is that breaking out today? Man, how much I love these charts. Yeah, it looks like it's on the verge of breaking out. So here's the thing, right? This pattern that you're seeing here on GLD, it's the same thing as this. Except this is much easier to see and much easier to trade. But it's the same exact thing. You see it? So if you want to know what's going on, it's the same exact thing. If you want to know what's going on with GLD, because you prefer to trade, this ETF, just follow my analysis on spot gold. It's the same thing, except one is ugly and one is neat, in my opinion. That's right, Harry. I'm with you on that. Well, Justin, so let me back up. Is that standard? So, random question, right? I used to trade the 3-minute E-mini futures on the ES, also the Hang Seng. Is that standard? Well, I don't think anything I do in the markets is standard, Justin, at all, because nobody else is trading the 8-hour time frame in FX. No one else is trading the 8-hour time frame in FX. Nothing I do is standard. I'm completely self-taught. 20 plus years now, completely self-taught, and nothing I do is standard. And I have this whole philosophy that never follow the herd. If I see a group of people walking in one direction, I immediately walk the other. That's my philosophy. So I'm not looking for what other traders are doing, what's standard, or anything like that. I'm actually looking to do the opposite. Oh yeah, nice. I liked the beginning session. It was very good. And then we've been here chilling since. You too, brother. Have a great day. Nice, Jason. I think we're going to run the music. I had a great day with you all. I appreciate it. I really did enjoy it. It's a great way to go into the weekend. The film industry overall, not looking good. Not the film industry, but the cinemas at least. So I just want to say a big shout out to all of you. I really enjoyed this session, the flow of it all, spending this time with you. Big smile on my face. Thank each and every one of you for that. Thanks everyone who smashed the like button, helped support the channel. I definitely definitely appreciate that. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope we get that breakout in crypto over the weekend. That will be nice. But if not, we're going to be there to navigate it together. So I thank you. Thank you all. And just, I'll talk to you soon.